What's up, everybody? I'm back on the road doing stand-up, the Chrissy Chaos stand-up tour. Go to chrisdcomedy.com for tickets. chrisdcomedy.com for tickets. Yes. Hey, babe. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Chrissy Chaos. We're here in the LA Airbnb. I'm drinking coffee from La Pain Quatidun or something like that. Some French bakery in LA. I ate 2 chocolate croissants, Magic Spoon cereal, and an egg sandwich, but I've only logged in as Siggy's Yogurt into my Fitness Pal, so I'm only at 110 calories. We're going to do a Chrissy Quarantitties outside by the pool. That video should be out soon. We're going to have a good show. It's going to be a good time. I'm back on the road doing stand-up. chrisdcomedy.com for tickets. Providence, Rhode Island, Nashville, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Eatontown, New Jersey. We got shows all over. Go to chrisdcomedy.com and get the tickets. They're selling out quick. I'm in my Lululemon pants. I got my shirt on. What does it say? Attitude is contagious from Massive Supplements. They send me t-shirts and coffee. And they sent me coffee and supplements, protein shakes a couple of weeks ago. And I haven't stopped shitting since. Huh?
I love their shirt that Delilah was wearing.
Yeah, the shirt that Delilah was wearing, literally my 5-year-old was like, Daddy, can I put on a shirt to go to bed with? And I said, sure. And she just took it out and then went to bed. And then when I got her out of bed this morning, her shirt said, don't be a pussy. And it was from Massive. And I kind of felt like she was saying that directly to me. We're doing the podcast, guys. So if we got to stop, can you stop sneezing? We can hear it on the podcast. And stop opening the fridge. Vin, she was throwing golf balls down the stairs 5 minutes ago, so be careful. There's golf balls legitimately everywhere. She was dropping them down the stairs. Okay, it's like, I'm doing the podcast. Can somebody get her a freaking straitjacket? All right. So today, we got a lot of fun topics to talk about. We're going to talk about serial killers. We're going to, of course, talk about our mental health anxiety Tuesdays. We're going to talk about stuff that's been going on in my life in LA. And it's going to be good. Homeless Pimp is here. He's got on 2 different socks. Homeless. Again, we will do a video, even if we have to do it illegally, of Homeless Pimp taking a Barry's boot camp class. It's the funniest thing you'll ever see in your life. Just to watch how I'm talking about immediately Homeless Pimp gives up. And it's something... It's one of the funniest things because it'll just be like this. It was like we have this really flamboyant gay instructor, at Barry's boot camp. And he's like, you're going to, on the tread, they call everything the tread. They don't say the male. They go on the tread and we're going to really get high. 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. And you'll just watch Homeless Pimp just be walking at a 3. He just walks from a 3 to a 3.5 the whole class. And then, he'll be like, Michael, because Homeless Pimp's real name is Michael. He'll be like, Michael, really pump it up. Fastest of the day. And then Pimp will just go from 3.5 to 3.7 and take his headphones off and then just put in his AirPods and start listening to a Tim Dillon podcast while he's at Barry's boot camp.
I mean, Chad's taught me.
Dude, what do we got? What'd you pull up here? For some reason, Pimp has up on the screen.
Well, we talked last time about how all the doctors are shaming Jazz or Vinny.
Oh, yeah. All the doctors have been shaming Vinny out here. Vin, if you want to come on, listen, here's the new rules. If you want to say anything on this podcast, you need to say it in the microphone, okay? La Latinas, la Latinas. So actually today they called Vinny. Vinny went in for a test the other day to see if she has gestational diabetes, which is diabetes. They called her today and they said, you don't have gestational diabetes, but Homeless Pimp does have regular diabetes. No, the doctor, so do I though. I mean, dude, I am Chrissy chocolate croissants. I've been face fucking croissants for the last 2 weeks, wondering why I'm getting back fat again. But they told Vinny specifically at our appointment last week, they said, we will call you if there are any issues. So we'll only call you if there's a problem. So this morning we get a phone call while we're eating breakfast from the doctor. And she's like, oh my God, is there a problem? And they basically called her just to tell her that her blood work is fine, but she does have stretch marks. And if they'd like to... I don't have stretch marks. Here, speak it to the mic. Look at how beautiful you look today, Vin. Oh my God.
She doesn't have stretch marks.
Well, you don't see her naked. I do.
I'm going to throw this microphone at your head.
Oh,
Seriously.
throw it at my head and
You're-
watch how quick you get sued by Homeless Pimp because that microphone costs about $35. This is the Chrissy Chaos podcast. It cuts in and out every minute. Go ahead. Come on. And then go on the poll.
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say?
What do you mean what I want you to say?
You're always telling me off.
Really?
Now you're making fun of me?
I'm not making... No. Off the camera. I'm not
carrying
making fun of
your babies, and now you want to make fun of my stretch
You're
marks?
No. You're carrying...
Watch how nervous he gets.
You're carrying a baby, but until we get that paternity test...
That's true. That's true.
I'm not sure who it is because...
True. Neither do I. Because the baby stops moving the second you lay your hand on
this
me.
is the bullshit
The
that I'm
second.
dealing... This is the bullshit I'm dealing with right now is... Vinny is 7 months pregnant. Every time the baby's moving and she'll go to put my hand on her stomach to feel it, my baby stops moving. So I don't know.
It hides behind my pancreas.
So what is the reason for that? Why do you think the baby stops
doesn't
moving?
like you.
But why? All I do is give it
Vibes.
everything it wants.
Vibes, energy.
What do you mean
It
my
doesn't
vibes and
like
energy?
it.
My vibes and energy are posy-wazy.
It doesn't like it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it gets, what it wants when it's born. If it keeps acting like that. Delilah knows how to play me. She knows how to get me in the palm of your hand. What's up, baby?
I have a bathing suit on, so I'm not naked.
You have a bathing suit on, so you're not naked. Okay, good. There you go.
And you're a baby.
And I'm a baby? Why do you say I'm a baby? Because I don't have hair on my legs? It's a condition that I don't know why I can't grow hair like a normal man and I can't grow chest hair. Get in the fucking pool. Okay, my family's in the pool now. So it says in LA, looking at the metro areas with the highest concentration of plastic surgeons, Miami topped the list. So Miami has more plastic surgeons living there than LA, which I guess makes sense because, for some reason, I feel like you would think white women get the most plastic surgery, but I think it may be Latina women that get the most fake boobs and fake butts. Why don't you send pictures of your fake boobs and fake butts to ChrissyKSPodcast@gmail.com and we'll see how many more emails we get. Is it from white women or Latinas? Latinas. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I dare you to send your pictures. I dare you.
I thought you guys
I'm
were in the pool.
waiting.
No. I thought you guys were in the pool.
Oh, you're a dummy.
I'm a what?
A dummy.
I'm a dummy. Thank you. I'm not the one that doesn't know how to spell Tuesday like you. I mean, she spells it. You have to see the way she spells it. Toosday. I'm the dummy. Okay.
But it's interesting to me. Look at what comes in third place for plastic surgery.
So we got Miami number 1, Los Angeles number 2, number 3 New Orleans. Why? Maybe because voodoo. Maybe because a lot of voodoo. When somebody gets a voodoo needle into their body and it distorts them, they need plastic surgery to look like what they did before the voodoo doll.
I feel like everyone in New Orleans is just drunk all the time.
They are. Speaking of New Orleans, allegedly next week or maybe 2 episodes from now when he gets out of here, Mark Norman coming on the pod. Mark Norman, going to be a guest on the podcast. Out here, Chaz Palminteri, upcoming guest, going to be fun. Homeless Pimp legit lives with us now in LA. Homeless Pimp has now decided to leave his family back in New York. He's going back to New York to get his second vaccine dose, and then he's going to come back to LA, and he's pretty much just living with us. And I asked Vinny if that was okay in the car yesterday. I was like, hey, Pimp's just going to make his base here until we go back to New York, and she just looked off in the distance and said nothing. So it's one of those things where, oh, by the way, and also we were going to get the nanny. Here, go back up. Speaking of spelling, we were going to get the nanny on the podcast, Fran Drescher. Pimp has it on the board as Fran, F-R-A-N, Dresser, D-R-E-S-S-E-R. So I'd love to think that we're booking Fran Drescher, and then when Fran Dresser shows up, I'd love to see that person. That may actually be a better interview. It's whoever Fran Dresser is. Comes in. No, it's all good. And then maybe Andy Dick, which would be hilarious. I think getting early into an Anxiety Tuesday segment for the mental health, what I've discovered out here that's really been helping my mental health is hiking. I was a kid who forever was just anti-nature. I was like, look, I'm from New York City. There's puddles, there's pigeons. If I want to see shit in the woods, I'll go to Central Park and, watch the homeless. Things like that, I would say, because I was just such a city idiot. But now since I've been out here and like by hiking trails and out in nature, I've realized that even like my allergies, like going for an early morning hike, for some reason, even though like that's where the trees are and that's where the pollen is, when I'm walking up in the fresh air, it like has a reverse effect. Like getting out in the fresh air plus Claritin D, let's be serious here, plus Claritin D really helps my allergies, where I just sit in the house and try to avoid going outside because I'd be like, I'm going to sneeze, my eyes. My allergies would get worse and worse and worse. So it's this interesting thing. And going on an early morning hike, just like when it's like a little bit of like a cool breeze, I just get my thoughts together. And also a little trick of the trade is I like to go on early morning hikes out here. I'm talking about 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m., because it's mostly old people and you can just get right past them in a light jog or a power walk and just feel better that you're lapping their old asses. You can just get a little boost of confidence, you know? It's just fun. And I actually went on a hike today with my boy Don DePetta, Donnie Tsunami, and he ate 2 cinnamon buns before he went on the hike and then threw up in the middle of the hike on a brisk walk. He threw up cinnamon buns down the Hollywood Hills, and it was pretty funny. And he claims that he's in shape, but he's not. But he also is every time I post him, women and gay guys tell me they think he's really handsome, and I agree. He's a handsome kid. So he threw up on the trail, and it was like a little bit stepped off the trail. And somebody put their mask down. This is how stupid LA is. Somebody put their mask down while Don was throwing up and was like, "Can you please remember the rules to keep your mask up?" I'm like, "What do you want him to vomit in his mask?" God, I hate the people in LA. Not a lot of people, but there's a percentage of people in LA that just with the mask, that just want to have, they have a mask on their face, a mask on their head, a butt plug in. They can't let any COVID get into any orifice. And it gets a little frustrating. The reason why it's annoying is because I am pretty confident they're not doing it because they're scared of the virus. They're doing it to virtue signal what a great person they are. That's what pisses me off about it. You know, if somebody who was at risk and had a, autoimmune disorder was doing that, it's like, okay, they need to do that to keep themselves safe. But half these people are hiking up, jogging up a 20 fucking thing incline, running at full speed with a mask on, yelling about other people with the mask. Like, you're not at risk. If you got COVID, it would bounce off you.
It's like what you said on the $25 episode, that the whole city's built on insecurity.
This whole city of Los Angeles is built on insecurity. And by the way, the $25 episode, which is at patreon.com/Christy Comedy, it's called The Chris and Eddie Show, where I take edibles and do an episode. Only available for the 25s. The $5 episodes and the $10 episodes are amazing too. That's an extra bonus episode once a week, every week for only $5 or $10 a month. Patreon.com/Christy Comedy. Join the Christians, join the chaos. A lot of fun happens there. So I didn't realize this. You know, if I said to you, how many hikers, by the way, is it racist to say hikers should I say hikers? Hikers.
Probably.
Hiker. I don't want to be disrespectful if I'm saying hiker, because anytime I hit a word with a hard ER now, looking like an undercover cop and an undercover German, it just makes me very nervous to say that. So I want to say hikers. My hikers. Hikers get lost. How many hikers do you think get lost every year? Like dead. If you had to guess, 2,000 people a year. 2,000. You got a better chance of getting lost on a hike than you do of dying of COVID. No, I'm kidding. Drowning, 668 deaths, is the leading cause at national parks and national recreation areas, which, by the way, we talked about this on the $25 Patreon episode about the guy who fell into a geyser at Yellowstone National Park and his body disintegrated in 3 hours, like legitimately disintegrated. And we talked about how much the mafia, if you ever seen like an old school like Italian Goomba in a 3-piece suit with his hair slicked back going on a hike through Yellowstone National Park, he wasn't. He was dumping a body. He was 100% dumping a body, and good shit. If you ever are lost in the woods, little survival tip, remember the classic survival mnemonic. How do you say that word? Mnemonic. Is it mnemonic? Mnemonic. Mnemonic. Yeah, mnemonic possession. Stop is the things that you have to remember. STOP. Stop, sit down, don't panic. Think, What do you know about your situation and location? The answer is probably going to be nothing, and my phone doesn't work. The GPS doesn't work because I'm in the woods. Observe, gather information that can help you figure out where you are. You're probably like, oh shit, I'm in a bear's den. Plan, consider possible courses of action, and choose one. So pretty much this tells me to do nothing. So pretty much what I'm going to do is probably sit down and panic. Think about instead of thinking about my situation and location, I'm going to think about my life because it's probably over. Observe, I'm going to gather information that can help figure out where you are. I'm probably just going to, observe that I'm going to die soon. I'm going to observe my final resting place. Plan, consider possible courses of action and choose one. I'm going to plan to somehow send a smoke signal out to Homeless Pimp and tell him to delete my text because Vin's going to look at it.
It's so frustrating. I searched, how do you survive if you're lost in the woods? And they think everyone's so stupid. That was the answer.
Right. Yeah. It's just, it's one of those things where here's what I'll say is I am very much enjoying nature. I truly am getting out there on the hike. But as far as camping and doing that and setting up a tent, which I know you like to do, Pimp, that's not what I want to do. Like our other friend, Mike Cannon, he likes to take mushrooms and go into the woods. And that's just not something I'll do. I'll go into the woods and with my book, 48 Laws of Power, I'll do that and get pumped up on a little 48 Laws of Power. But
how long do you think you could survive lost in the woods?
To be honest with you, for me to survive lost in the woods, here's what I'll tell you. Vin and I went to Paris, Puerto Ricans in Paris. We went to Paris, and I'm not talking about Pret a Manger. I'm talking about we got on a flight and went to for real Paris. We went out to a restaurant that had a view of the Eiffel Tower, and the waiter, we got the last table of the night. It was like 9:00. It was like a tough place to get into. But we were there in Paris, and the waiter said, hey, if you go out this back door, if you just go out this back door, there's like the best view of the Eiffel Tower. But he didn't tell us that once that door closes behind us, there's no way to get back into the restaurant, and you have to go down the stairs through a back alley that leads into this garden that is closed for the night. It was 10:30 at night. So we go down this back alley in the Eiffel Tower to take these pictures of the Eiffel Tower. They're beautiful. And then we go back into the door that was open, and the door's not open. So we're like, okay, no big deal. We'll go down the stairs. We try this door. Locked. We try that door. Locked. We try this door. Locked. We try that door. Locked. Finally, it gets to the point, 45 minutes, all the doors are locked. I come to the realization, we are trapped in this garden. And there was a plexiglass wall that looked out onto the streets of Paris that people could walk by, and we're in this garden, which at the time, I didn't know what the garden was. I thought it was actually a zoo. So I start to get nervous. I'm like, imagine we're in a zoo right now with all the lights off and the animals get out of their cages like, we're done. So I start banging on the plexiglass wall, screaming to the people of Paris outside walking me. I'm like, help, help. And they're like, looking at me and like running away, looking at me and like running away. Vinny, I'm telling the story about us when we were locked in that thing in Paris. Can you just come in here for a second? Oh, Vin's cleaning the pool. Absolutely. Vin is cleaning the pool. When Vin cleans the pool, her name is Guadalupe. Vin, do you remember when, give it to mine. Do you remember when we got locked in that place in Paris and I was hitting on that plexiglass wall?
Why am I not getting the salary of a cleaning lady?
Huh?
Why am I not getting the salary of the cleaning lady?
You are getting the salary of the cleaning lady.
I'm not.
What are you talking about?
You better start depositing those checks.
I give you money every month.
No, you don't.
I give you child support even though we're together.
You do not.
You get alimony. You get alimony
you want to
even
start
though
claiming that, you better start paying up.
Even though we're in a relationship, you still get alimony. That's how sick it is. Do you remember when we were in Paris, I was telling the story?
Oh my God, you were freaking out.
No, because we were saying because Pimp asked me how long, if I was lost in the woods, how long before I started to panic. And I said, I immediately panicked 45 minutes into the Paris ordeal.
It wasn't 45 minutes. It was like 4 minutes.
What do you remember from that?
It was like...
Remember when I was screaming at the people walking by?
Yes, and they're looking at you like you're a psychopath, like you were going to kill them.
Were you nervous at all?
I was nervous, but I had to keep my cool because you were freaking out so much.
So what were you nervous about? What did you think could have happened?
I don't know. It was dark. I kept hearing things like in the leaves and the bushes, and then
right.
I was like, all right, I could turn to Chris because he'll save me. But then I see you crying in the corner. So I was like.
I wasn't crying in the corner, but okay.
So then I didn't know, whatever, I don't know.
How did we finally get rescued? Do you remember?
Yeah, security was probably watching us the entire time through the cameras.
Right.
And they finally came out to like let us out.
What was going to be your plan if we couldn't get out of any of those doors? Were you prepared to just sleep there for the night outside?
No, we were going to climb over that fence that we found in the back.
But I didn't want to climb over the fence because I thought it was going to rip my pants.
You didn't want to climb, but I was ready to climb over the fence in heels.
Right.
And my white jumpsuit.
You would have truly just climbed over the fence and gotten out?
What am I going to do? Sleep there?
There was barbed wire on the fence.
You get over it.
Okay.
Wait, how was it to walk around Paris with Chris? I feel like he'd just stand out.
Yeah, what was it? I was good in Paris.
You were good.
What was
I was mad at you because you weren't like romantic. Like on the Love Bridge.
Oh, yeah, on the Love Bridge. Yeah.
Like we're walking, I hate you. We're walking across this bridge where they have like all the locks and all like the messages and stuff. I don't know what it's called. Love Bridge?
I think it's called like Love Bridge or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
So we're walking and like he's
bridge.
not even holding my hand. And I'm trying to get like closer to him. Like this is a romantic moment. It's supposed to be. And he goes, doesn't it smell like garbage? And I'm like, I was like, let's get off this bridge.
And look at you. Now you pregnant.
I can't.
That's what it is.
Well, you know what that means? We have to do it all over again. And now you know what to do this time.
Which is what?
Be romantic.
No, I was trying to be romantic. We stayed at the hotel.
Make me feel safe.
The hotel we're at in Paris, she's like, let's have a romantic bottle of wine. I'm like, that bottle of wine's like $300. No, let's just go out. Let me go to the corner store and get a bottle of wine.
We were in Paris.
So we have to drink the hotel wine?
Yeah.
I didn't have a Patreon yet.
Now, what about the French people? How did they interact with Chris? I feel like they would not understand him.
They didn't understand him. I think they gave you attitude most of the time. They were nicer to me.
We were in Paris for 2 days. Literally, all we did was eat Italian food besides that one restaurant we went into because all I was like pizza. The only word I knew in French was fromage, which means cheese. I was like fromage and they were like pizza? I was like, yeah. I was speaking I was like, si, senor, in Paris, like an idiot.
Yeah, we weren't prepared.
Yeah.
I was trying to speak Spanish too.
Well, no, we got on that Google Translate app, and I remember with the one bakery we went to in Paris where we found like real deal like macaroons because we had went to the Versailles Palace, it was awesome. And we went down like a little street and we got like these awesome like macaroons. And the woman, we were like deep in Paris. She was like, I don't know English. Like she was like saying, I don't know. So we did the Google Translate and I said, can I have 5 macaroons? And she just was like, what? I was like 5 macaroons and then she gave us like a donut and like a small iced coffee. But it was good though. It was, no, honestly, in Paris, we felt like the food that like you just, like how like, these are the golf balls down she's dropping all the golf balls down the stairs.
Delilah, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Delilah.
Maybe it'll scare the roaches.
Somebody's gonna trip and fall on them.
How many of those
She
do we
took
have?
them all and dropped them. With her life vest on. Thank God she has her life vest on.
All right, this is her crying for attention.
Okay, all right, so go. But Paris was fun. We'll talk about it another time. And I promise you we'll go to
We'll
Paris.
redo it.
Before you go, did he try anything adventurous? Did he eat snails? Did he do any Paris
He didn't.
stuff?
No, of course not. I mean, look, it's Chris.
No, we went to Paris, and the first thing I did is I got us on a double-decker bus tour. It's the first thing I did.
It was horrible. You didn't even want to like go like on the Eiffel Tower, like go to the top.
Because what are we going to do
now
up
we
there?
Can't.
What do you mean now we can't?
And now we can't.
Why can't we?
They're not
freaking the
letting
Nazis
people up
take?
there now, right?
Okay, but it's gonna by the time we're gonna go to Paris tomorrow. You still have to shit out this kid.
I cried when I saw the Eiffel Tower.
Delilah, stop throwing the golf balls down the stairs. You're going to kill someone.
What is that? That wasn't a golf
That was
ball.
bigger than a golf ball.
That was her brother.
Wait a minute, so you cried when you saw the Eiffel Tower, and what was he doing?
When it was like in my eyesight for the first time, I started crying.
No. This is exactly. She
And
was
he
legit.
starts-
No.
And you start recording me like you wanted to get content from that.
Let me tell you what happened. Delilah, stop. She literally We're in an Uber coming from the Versailles because the first thing we did is we dropped our bags at I think we were staying at the hotel right by the opera. There was
The
a hotel.
W
The
hotel,
W
was it?
hotel right by like the opera, which is like a beautiful, like the main opera in Paris, which is beautiful.
Gorgeous, yeah.
It's called like La Opera. I guess it's the opera. I don't know.
It wasn't.
Yeah, the Opera Winfrey. And so the Opera Winfrey Hotel. Listen, I talk about it every show. I don't even care if they weren't a sponsor anymore. I love Magic Spoon like you can't imagine. I've been losing weight, getting freaking ripped. I told you, except my left nipple. There's nothing I can do about that. And it's from Magic Spoon. Me and Homeless Pimp eat Magic Spoon more than anything else in this house. As soon as Pimp got to this Airbnb that we're at in LA, he started eating Magic Spoon with his hands because he's a fucking animal. But I love it. My kids love it. Me and Vinny love it. Magic Spoon is like the only cereal I want to eat now. You know why? 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net carbs. So I feel like a kid eating the cereal, but I'm not getting fat. I'm actually getting in better shape because Magic Spoon is just this keto-friendly snack. It's keto-friendly. Okay, you know me. I'm keto Chrissy D. And it's soy-free, grain-free, and GMO-free, and it's low carb. The only soy that's in the cereal when I eat it comes out of my blood because I'm a soy boy. That's it. MagicSpoon.com/chaos and then use the promo code chaos to get $5 off. And send a picture of it to me when you guys use my promo code. I love seeing that who we're helping out with the Magic Spoon. And very specifically, it's MagicSpoon.com/chaos in the browser and then use the promo code chaos for $5 off. I want to talk to you about Transcend Labs. It's a CBD company. Babe, I've been using it. You know me. You know I have anxiety, the Anxiety Tuesday. I've told you the things that changed my life the most in my life have been CBD and here we go. Transcend Labs. I love CBD. You know I'm Chrissy CBD. I've been really working on my anxiety a lot, and this has helped me so much. You know, the 2 things in my life that have helped me the most get my anxiety down are CBD and not going to church. Those are the 2 things. Once I got Jesus out of my life and CBD into it, the whole life changed. Transcend Labs is the one that we've been using. Pimp gave me some that we're doing the Chris and Eddie show and on my Patreon, and we started taking these products, and I was like, wow, let's get these guys involved because Transcend Labs, there's a lot of CBD products out there, let's be honest, but they're voted #1 CBD product. Transcend Labs is voted #1 by LA Weekly. So that's pretty big. LA Weekly's pretty big. I mean, I'm in LA right now. Are they going to be voted one in New York Weekly? Probably. New York Weekly going to give them #1 too when I bring the news back to New York City. But I'm telling you, Transcend Labs, this CBD product was legit. I know there's a lot of CBD to choose from. Transcend Labs is just dope. I was so anxious to take it at first, and it's done nothing but help my anxiety and drive my anxiety almost to 0, and I feel good. I mean, I've been going to the gym, working out. It's been awesome. I've just, I don't know. I'm so calm. I may come out of the closet to my dad sooner than later. I don't know. All you got to do is go to transcendlabs.com. That's TRANSCENDLABS.com and enter the code Chrissy D. Okay, not chaos. You got to enter the code Chrissy D, which is CHRISSYD at checkout. And guess what? You're going to get 50% off your order. So 50% off your order, you might as well try it. It's 50% off if you just put the promo code Chrissy D, CHRISSYD, transcendlabs.com. #1 CBD, voted #1. Visit transcendlabs.com and enter the code Chrissy D. I'm telling you, this is one that is really going to help you out. If you've never tried CBD, try it out. If you're a CBD connoisseur, then, just use this one too, because I'm telling you, this is the one that I've been using. It's the one that works, and I haven't stuck it up my butt yet, but the night is young.
Welcome to Mail Time. It's Titi Jerry's time, guys. Hey!
All right, so next question here. Nico Behar asked, would TT ever consider chopping off her wee-wee?
No. No, that's one thing I will not do because I like to get my shit off. You know what I'm saying? Hey, a booty a year is not going to do any damage. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. I love it. Rika Blackmon wrote, while in Attica, did you know a guard named Justin?
Justin.
She wrote, he looks miserable all of the time.
That's a lot of them that feel miserable in there all the time.
Well, it
but
seems like
Justin sounds familiar, but I don't know. There was so many of them that I don't know. It was such a long time ago. I probably forgot. But
shout out her. That's her brother-in-law. So shout him
oh,
out.
it is all right. Shout out to Justin.
Hopefully he wasn't fucked up to you.
No. There was a lot of good CEOs in Attica though.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, they used to get along with me. They used to like me a lot. They used to respect me. Yeah. Maybe he was one of them. I don't know.
I hope so. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we'll come see him. Free Love Sack promo asks if you've ever boofed Molly in prison or had a Molly shower with the boys.
No, I never boofed nothing that it wasn't going to give me any joy. Number one, because like I said on my last episode, on my last broadcast, I'm not boofing anything that's going to hurt or make me bleed. It's not going to be for my joy. I'm not boofing nothing up through there. I'm not.
Good for you. Was that popular? A lot of other people did.
Why? Oh yeah, a lot of people in prison used to do all that.
Yeah,
They used to
that's how
boof
you,
so many stuff up their butt. Oh my god!
like even if you want to smoke weed in prison, it comes out of your ass.
It comes out of your ass. Anything that's to get you high and everything's coming out your ass. And sometimes they even used to give you like a stick of joint or something. That shit smell like shit. Who the hell wants to smoke that? Guys used to smoke it. Guys used to take pills, put it on their mouths and everything smelling like shit.
Wow.
Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah, that's really gross. Jeez.
Yeah,
They probably got COVID off that.
Huh?
Probably got COVID.
No,
doing
they
that.
really probably got really high off that shit. Smelling that shit.
And so we took an Uber right to the Versailles Palace because I wanted to do two things. I wanted to go see the Versailles because it's like unbelievable, and I wanted to go to catacombs, Chrissy catacombs, but we couldn't get into the catacombs. But we did Versailles, and then and it was like 100 degrees in Paris that day. We're taking an Uber back. She's legit asleep, like drooling, almost snoring. We're on the highway, like we're on it looked like the BQE almost in New York City, and then the Eiffel Tower pops up. Like it pops up into frame, and I'm like, this is the first time I saw it. I'm like, oh, it's pretty cool. I'm filming it. And then I wake her up. I'm like, look, babe, to the Eiffel Tower. And she like wakes up. She's like, oh my God. She was like, it looks so nice.
No, you're lying. That's not
And
true.
then she starts to cry a little bit. I swear to God, she like starts to tear up. She's like, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then I look back over and she's got like one tear streaming down her face and she's right back asleep. And then you woke up from the nap. You woke up from the nap and you're like, did we see the Eiffel Tower? Or was I dreaming? I was like, you were dreaming. We didn't see it. We're back in Brooklyn.
You're such a liar.
I'm not a liar.
That was a very emotional moment for me, and you ruined it.
And what?
You ruined that. You ruined the bridge. We couldn't have the wine.
So why would you ever want to go back to Paris then?
You
With
gotta
me.
redo it. We gotta redo it.
to do it right.
I know, we got to do it right.
Now you know what to do.
All right. What if I just take you to La Pen Cuisine? This is Paris.
Goodbye.
Okay. I'll see you later. All right, I'm going to come in the pool in a little bit. Let us just finish the potty waddy. We're having a good time here. All right, you know what? It's time for a little 48 Laws of Power. I love doing it. And by the way, again, send videos or questions to ChrissyChaosPodcast@gmail.com.
We actually have a video.
We have a video? Let's do a video first. Let's say this is a way we want to try to get the fans more involved in the show. You send us videos, we'll talk about it on the podcast. We'll shout you out. We'll shout out your Patreon name if you have one, or your username, on social media, whatever you want. We want to get fans part of the show. Now, who's this kid? This kid, first of all, this kid, he's got a nice shaped up beard. He looks like, this kind of kid looks like for sure one day is going to snap and kill his family.
This is Nick_Zav on Instagram.
Nick_Zav. Is he a member of the Patreon?
I think so.
Okay, patreon.com/Christy Comedy. Your videos will get preferential treatment because you're part of the family, part of the Christians. But if you don't want to join it, that's fine too. ChrissyChaosPodcast@gmail.com. Let's see what this kid has to say.
Chrissy, what's up, baby? Quick question. So at what age do you think you stopped giving a shit about sports as much as you did as a kid? With the relationship you have with your father and playing basketball and just being athletic as a kid, what was the turning point for you where you stopped getting mad about your team losing all the time, especially being in New York and being a Knick fan and an Islander fan? Like, what was the turning point for you where you were like, I can't keep giving all my effort and all my fandom to this one thing because it's just killing me left and right? Thanks, man.
That kid sounded like a very well-spoken kid until he said turning point. He was like, what was the turning point? Then I said, he's a garbage man. This kid works for your local, he works for the sanitation department of any city he lives in. He's like, I'll throw the garbage away. That's the turning point for me. It's when I throw out your garbage. That's actually a good question. I love sports. I still to this day love sports. As I've gotten older, though, even my father doesn't watch sports as much as he used to. It's kind of like, I think something's happened. It's like even baseball has gotten, I think, like the distractions of the phone. Can you stop filling up? We're still doing the podcast. Can you stop watering the plants? Yes, Jasenia, Guadalupe. So I think that is that coming in on the audio pretty bad? Okay. Oh, she's stopping it. She's stopping the agua. I think for me, what's happened is like with the distraction from our phone and just seeing like little clips of a game, that's like more exciting sometimes to just see the big moments than watching a whole game through. And like I said, even my father, who's a diehard New York Yankees fan, baseball fan, doesn't watch full 9-inning games anymore. He just watches the clips. I mean, once in a while he'll watch it. But for me, it's one of those things where I realize I can't sit and watch a full game anymore because, I'm distracted. I got my phone, I got my kids, but I still keep up with it. I still love the Knicks. I still love the Yankees. Hockey and the Islanders, I love them, but I just haven't watched. We were supposed to have Sean Avery, great New York Ranger, great on the podcast, and he's just ghosted me twice on text. But one day we will get Sean Avery on the podcast, and I'll let him hit me in the face with his hockey stick.
Now, with sports, do you ever think like maybe in the future it'll be the thing, it'll be like smoking, like they're going to cancel it, or no?
I don't think they can ever cancel sports just because there's so much money and revenue in it. But I do think listen, boxing, if you would have told somebody in the 1950s that boxing was going to be a forgotten sport, they'd be like, you're crazy. So that can definitely happen with sports. Like, could just be a forgotten thing where like, it's just not as popular anymore.
Yeah, boxing is like Vine.
Yeah, it's like, it could, it's like Vine. It was popular and now, now it's not so popular anymore. But there's still a market for it. Don't get me wrong. Like boxing is still a fun and exciting and awesome sport, but I'm just saying, at least in America, it's just not that popular. Like it's just not, but it's awesome. But I think it's a good question. To be honest with you, like I used to know every single player on the entire team of my favorite teams. I'm not talking about the starters. I'm talking about from the best player to the worst player and the assistant coaches, the trainers. I was like a savant. Now, my favorite teams, I can probably only name 5 players on every team because I don't do fantasy. I think fantasy sports is what keeps you alive in the game, but I don't do fantasy or any type of gambling because my father was a big gambler and he was like, that's my only rule is don't get involved in gambling. So I don't gamble. I just do heroin. Is this another video?
We have another video here.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. He sent to ChrissyChaospodcast@gmail.com?
Yeah, we got email from Jason Nauer.
Jason Hour?
Nauer.
Jason Nauer. Okay.
Hey, Chris, what is the sexiest learning disability aside from sexlexia?
Jason Nauer. First of all, Jason Nauer, I got a solution for you. It's Keeps.com. Go to Keeps.com. Promo code Chaos. You're going to get your first month free. We're going to get that hair back for you, baby. Keeps.com. No, I'm kidding. Jason Nauer, you're a funny kid. What is the sexiest learning disability besides sexlexia? That's hilarious. What is the sexiest? Well, what are the learning disabilities? We got ADHD. We got dyslexia. What's another learning disability?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's funny. Learning disabilities. What do we got? Dyslexia, hyperactivity, dysgraphia. Yeah, I guess. Go up a little bit. Go up. Yeah. What? Oral. Yeah, I guess anything. Yeah, and all of these learning disabilities are oral. The sexiest one. Let's see. You know what I actually think the sexiest learning disability is? Sexlexia is hilarious. Dyslexia. You know what I think the sexiest one is? Tourette's. I'd like to hook up with a woman with Tourette's and just let her curse at me and just say words that have nothing to do with me, have nothing to do with the situation. I would like to have, or you can just get Tourette's. You could just make believe you have Tourette's. So I would say Tourette's was probably the sexiest learning disability. And Tourette's also, I kind of, that sounds like a sexy girl's name. Like, what's up? My name is Tourette's. How you doing? I'm Tourette's. I'm like, hi. I would say Tourette's is probably the sexiest learning disability, or Down syndrome.
Oh, this is the question I had when you were speaking about sports. Now, do you think the way people know all the players and obsess is the same negative effect as the news cycle people?
I think getting into sports the way that people get into the news, can be equally as harmful in the set. Even though like sport, because here's the thing. Like I have a friend, literally this is a true story. One of my friends was dating this girl for like 3-4 months. I have a friend, right? In Queens, legit was dating this girl for like 3-4 months, like in love, finally meets her father and their family. He's at a barbecue at their house. He's a Yankees fan. The girl's father is a Mets fan. They start drinking, having a good time. They get into a fist fight at the end of the night because the father was shitting on the Yankees relief pitching staff, and the kid got offended and punched his girlfriend's father in the face over the Mets. And got dumped immediately, and then came back to the group chat and was like, can you believe what a dickhead our father was? I'm like, why would you punch your girlfriend's father in the face because of baseball? But he's, people do that. And of course, he's a firefighter, so shout out New York's bravest.
Now, what was the most awkward interaction you've had with new girlfriend's parents?
I've talked about this before, but my friend who's been using Keeps, I mean, this guy's got like a different life. I mean, you gotta see this kid's hair looks completely different now because he's been using Keeps. Because 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35. I'm 36. I haven't experienced yet, but I swear to God, the second I do, Keeps is getting right on my head. 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness, a little MPB. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss. Guess what? Keeps offers them both. What I like about Keeps is, first of all, it's got a lot of 5-star reviews. That's always very important when you look at something on a site, how many 5-star reviews they have. Keeps has got a lot of them. So does the Chrissy Chaos podcast. And it's a very low cost. It's only $10 a month, and they have all these generic versions of it. It's discreet packaging and proven results. Because the thing is about male pattern baldness is it can be a little embarrassing. I get it. It shouldn't be, but I get it. And they're discreet packaging, so you never know what's coming to your door. So if you are experiencing some of this, which again, 66% of men do, go to Keeps.com. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, Keeps.com/chaos to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's Keeps, KEEPS.com/chaos, and get your first month free. KEEPS.com/chaos. And I'm telling you, it's the first month free. I mean, what do you got to lose? You get a month free. Maybe you get your hair back. It's great. I mean, what are you complaining about? So what? You lose a little hair. Keeps.com/chaos. You get it right back. And we're right back in. Listen, if you're a man, if you were born a man or identify as a man, and you want to feel comfy, in your clothes, I got the solution. Mack Weldon clothes. I have Mack Weldon stuff. It's so unbelievably comfortable. It's like the best. And Mack Weldon is a one-stop shop for men's basics. They got socks, shirts, hoodies, underwears, polos, active shorts, whatever you need, babe. Mack Weldon has you covered. It's just one of those things that, like, if you're a guy and you just want to, it's hard for us to buy clothes sometimes where I'm like, I don't know what the hell I want, but I just go to Mack Weldon and they got everything I need. They got custom fabrics. They got all the good stuff. 18-hour silver, air knit X, dry knit, warm knit. And Mack Weldon has created a totally free loyalty program. Level 1 gets you free shipping for life, okay? Not for a year, for life. Once you reach level 2 by spending $200, Mack Weldon gives you 20% off every order for the next year. I mean, these people are like giving it away. It's unbelievable. Mack Weldon wants you to be comfortable. So if you do not like your first pair of underwear, you can keep them and they'll still refund you. No questions asked. It doesn't matter if you shorten them. It's the best. And even more of a discount. Here's the thing for the Chrissy Chaos listeners. Mack Weldon, that's MACKWELDON.com/chaos and enter the promo code chaos, 20% off your first order. So they're already giving you 20%. Now you get another 20% off your first order. And it's amazing. All you got to do is go to macweldon.com/chaos as the URL, then enter the promo code chaos when you're done shopping. I mean, you can't lose. Mac Weldon, I'm telling you, it's comfy, wumpy clothes. I got a pair of underwear upstairs. I got socks up there. I got a sweatshirt from Mac Weldon. It's actually the best. I mean, I want to meet this guy, Mac Weldon. He sounds like he's got a nice, thick hog. New girlfriend's parents' awkward interaction. I would say the most awkward interaction I had is when I was going it wasn't the first time I met her parents, but the second time an ex-girlfriend of mine had met her parents, and I had an allergic reaction to some type of pesto sauce that her mom had used, and we had to call 911. I had to get shot with an EpiPen. They had known me. This is the second time meeting me, and I remember her father telling, my girlfriend, like, a guy like this is going to be a headache if he is going to get taken out by pesto sauce. I don't know if he can protect you if shit hits the fan. And then we dated for like another couple of months and we broke up. That was the most awkward one that I can remember. All right, 48 Laws of Power. I love doing this. It helps me. Hopefully it's helping you. Let us know. And also, buy the 48 Laws of Power and, send me a picture of it at ChrissyChaosPodcast@gmail.com and let me know, if you're liking it. So here we go. Law 17. This is a good law. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Well, let me tell you something. That's what Vinny does really well, because I am in suspended terror pretty much every moment of my life. No, huh? I love you. I love you. I thought you were in the pool. Judgment. Humans are creatures of habit with an insatiable need to see familiarity in other people's actions. Your predictability gives them a sense of control. Turn the tables. Be deliberately unpredictable. Behavior that seems to have no consistency or purpose will keep them off balance, and they will wear themselves out trying to explain your moves. Taken to an extreme, this strategy can intimidate and terrorize. That's wild. Just be unpredictable all the time. You never know what move's coming. Listen, the name of this podcast is Chrissy Chaos. So I would say I'm pretty unpredictable, and I know Law 17. I thought she was going to throw something at me. Here we go. In chess, as in life, when people cannot figure out what you are doing, they are kept in a state of terror, waiting, uncertain, confused. Here we go, from Jean La Bruyere. Life at court is a serious, melancholy game of chess, which requires us to draw up our pieces and batteries, form a plan, pursue it, parry that of our adversary. Should we just do reading with Chris? Sometimes, however, it is better to take risks and play the most capricious, unpredictable move. So I guess what he's saying is, so I kind of feel this too, by the way. Everybody who's rich or like wildly successful, I feel like a very, very big percentage of them did something that their peers or family thought that they were absolutely insane for doing. So I think there's something to that. Like, you almost have to have the foresight to be like, hey, I know what I'm about to do is nuts, but I believe in it, and let everyone else tell me I'm nuts, and we'll see what happens. I kind of think like that. I'm not saying go out there and do something crazy and ruin your family or your own life, but if you really believe wholeheartedly in something, I'm a big proponent of just do it, dude. You're going to die anyway. Take a big ass swing. What's the worst can happen? You miss, you wind up in jail, your wife leaves you. So what? Just listen to the podcast every week. Go forget about your life for an hour.
I have a question for you. Now, what do you think the word capricious means?
Capricious? Chrissy capricious. What does capricious mean? Does it mean I'm capricious? Let's see. Capricious. Let's see in a sense. Capricious means like unpredictable. Oh, given to sudden and unaccountable changes of mood or behavior. Oh, there you go. So I kind of was right-ish. I said unpredictable before I saw it.
I feel like that word doesn't match that definition.
No, capricious. It makes me think of juice. Like, hey, can I get a capricious sun? It's just that's what it makes me think of. Capri pants. You like my capricious pants? If you find yourself outnumbered or cornered, throw in a series of unpredictable moves. Your enemies will be so confused that they will pull back or make a tactical blunder. I always thought that. If I was ever about to get jumped and I back against the wall, I have no choice. I always thought I would do something nuts. I'm being serious. What would you do?
So I do street photography a lot, and anyone could see my camera's worth money. So one time this guy was cracked out and started screaming at me that I was being disrespectful. And then I started whispering at him like, I hear stuff. I don't want to hurt you. I'm sorry.
Wow.
And then he said, I hear stuff, dude. And then he hugged me. And he was like, I'm sorry to bother you, man. I'm just hungry. I'll leave you alone. I know how it is.
So that's how you got out, by just whispering.
By just whispering and saying, like, I'll lose it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know what I think I'd start to do, just because I know people don't want to go near it, is I'm serious. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny. If somebody cornered me like that, I think I would start fingering my own asshole, and then with both fingers, and then pull out my shit fingers and be like, come near me, and you're gonna get hit with a poop finger. See, I mean,
I've
would
heard you say
were
this before. You love that strategy.
Yes.
Have you ever tried it?
I've never tried it because, like I said, I've never really experienced it with my butthole. But I can't think. Vin, I was saying, just real quick on the mic. Okay, real quick. I was just saying, if anybody ever cornered me, like in a fight, like I had to protect you and our family, and I
wouldn't do it.
No, I would say to make them go away, I would stick my fingers in my butthole and be like, if they want to come near me, they're gonna have to go through my butt finger to protect you guys.
You think they're going to care about that? A
Would you
psychopath coming after us?
I think one thing that could stop a psychopath is feces on a finger.
I don't think so. Maybe they're trying to get to that.
I know. Imagine he just started licking. He turned him on. He just started sucking my finger, and he came. And then, but that's how we got away.
Well, at least you would be distracted. He would be distracted.
I would be like, kids,
you would be distracted too.
I know.
But
I'd be like, kids, put on your masks. She's gonna blow. Run. What would you do? No. What would you do if you were cornered? Seriously, what would you do if you were cornered?
beat the shit out of him.
You would, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to fight.
Now, do you think you've gotten in more fights than Chris?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would say so. Do you count the fights that she got in with me as fights for her, as wins for her?
Oh my God, those are not fights. Get over it.
No, like fights with strangers. What do you think your record is?
No, actually, I haven't had that many fights.
When's the last time you had a genuine fist fight with another woman or guy?
Years ago, like maybe 15 years ago.
Why did you fight them? What happened? Do you remember? Were you just drunk?
Probably.
You don't remember?
Yeah. No, I was probably drunk. I don't remember.
Now, are you a fight guy? Have you gotten a fist fight?
No, I don't really get into fist fights. I got into one big bar fight at Patty McGee's in Long Beach, and somebody tipped me over, and I fell into the water in Long Beach.
Oh, the last time was, I was at a club. Someone like threw something at my friend, and I jumped on them, and I just started going off on them.
And then what happened? And then what'd you do?
And then we got kicked out of the club.
Did you go to another club, or what happened?
No, we went home after that. It was like at the end of the night. We were done anyway.
You were drunk, done. So you went and got
And there was one time that I pushed a girl because we were like dancing, like, you know how it gets super tight and you can't dance? Or I don't know if it's like that anymore. But yeah, we were dancing and she kept bumping into me. So I like elbowed her really hard and she threw her beer in my face, in my eyes, and I couldn't see. So I just started swinging like a maniac. And then she runs out of the club. They kick me out and I start chasing her car. I start running after her car, thinking I'm going to catch up with her.
What is Delilah doing? Is she in the pool?
Yeah, she's sitting on the steps.
Okay.
But that's it.
Oh my God.
I never caught her, obviously.
Right.
Because she was in her car.
Yeah, like how many people go to the bar for a fight? I've always wondered.
No, I've never gone looking for a fight.
No, I'm not saying you, but like I've had the same thing where I was standing saying nothing and some guy bought a drink and poured the whole drink on my head and then said, you want to fight? And I was like,
what?
One time.
He actually picked the fight with you.
Yeah, and then I asked the bartender, what was that about? He said that was the only drink he bought all night. He was standing there all night, bought one drink, poured it on you.
Interesting.
That's the psychopath that's going to corner you.
One time, you may remember, I was at dinner with me, my mom, and her ex-boyfriend. I was a teenager. We were at Outback Steakhouse, Outback Steakhouse in Queens Center Mall. We're sitting down. Yeah, we're sitting down. There's a table, like whatever, like a family, like a father, his wife, and 3 kids sitting with us, whatever. Father gets up, I guess, to go to the bathroom or whatever, comes back, is covered in beer, like legit covered in beer, and is bleeding from his lip. Like, this was 5 minutes. She's like, oh my God, honey, what happened? He goes, somebody tried to steal my wallet outside, and then we got into I was struggling with him, and then he threw a beer over my head, and he punched me in the face. And she was like, do you want to go to the hospital? He's like, no, I want another Foster's. So he just, I swear to God, he sat down, and then the waiter came over, like it was commotion. Like the manager came over, the waiter came over. He's like, nah, I'm fine. He's like, just give me a Foster's, and I need another bloomin' onion. And just sat there and then 5 minutes went by, and it was like that didn't happen. He was starting to dry off. His lip went away, and he was just eating onions, drinking beer, yelling at his wife and kids. It's like a normal Friday.
That's a real Queens man.
That's a real Queens trash man.
You could probably finish a whole blooming onion by yourself.
A blooming onion by 100%. You thought you cleaning up the shit was bad yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know how.
Well, did True TV Cribs come out yet, or it's coming
Well, that's
out?
only on Patreon, so you have to explain.
Oh, that's right. We did a tour.
I can't look at you the same after that.
Really? We had sex last night. But you weren't looking at me.
I wasn't. It was
It's
dark.
true.
It was dark.
It was
and
dark.
I was half asleep.
Yeah, it's true, too. Yeah. She was like, oh, Rodrigo. I was like, okay, I'll go with this. I was like, maybe I'm getting abs. She's calling me Latin names. What is she doing, Delilah?
She's just sitting on the step. She's
Okay.
right there.
What was I going to say?
I'll walk away for this story.
No,
It's
what
gross.
was
the
I?
shit story you were telling them about our Patreon.
Oh, yeah. So we did because we're in a pretty nice Airbnb, which True TV paid for 1 month and I paid for 1 month. And so we did a play on MTV Cribs, but we did True TV Cribs, and we did a whole tour of it at patreon.com/Christy Comedy. And it's fun. You could see like behind the scenes of my life in the house, my family. It was pretty wild. And I clogged one of the toilets. So let me just finish up this 48 Laws of Power. So, because I just hopefully like these chapters, reading this stuff helps you as much as it helps me. But here we go. Pablo Picasso once remarked, the best calculation is the absence of calculation. Once you have attained a certain level of recognition, others genuinely figure that when you do something, it's for an intelligent reason. So it's really foolish to plot out your movements too carefully in advance. You're better off acting capriciously. Everybody loves this word capricious in the old world. Pablo Picasso said to act capriciously, so act nuts. I act capriciously. I mean, Vin didn't know that, I was going to come home from a long work trip 7 months ago and get her pregnant, but it happened. Hey, Tris. Here we go. There's always a rule reversal. There's always a law reversal in this book, which I love. So it tells you what to do, but then it says there's instances when you could reverse it and still be successful. And the law reversal is this. Too much unpredictability will be seen as a sign of indecisiveness or even of some more serious psychic problem. Patterns are powerful, and you can terrify people by disrupting them. Such power should only be used judiciously. So they're saying, don't get too crazy with the unpredictability, because then you'll genuinely look like a schizophrenic, because you probably will be a schizophrenic. So just be crazy enough, but don't cross the line and go schizo. That's pretty much what the rules are. So that's pretty much, I think, what we do. I mean, this Chrissy Chaos podcast, it's almost mentally ill, but it's not fully mentally ill. Fast facts quickly about catacombs in France history, because I brought it up. This is the Chrissy Distefano segment. Which, by the way, the next time I go back to Paris, I want to go to the catacombs. And actually, at St. Patrick's Cathedral, before COVID, they opened up those catacombs in New York City, and I was going to go. But, I mean, you want to talk about a super spreader event, the underground catacombs.
Should we do a Chrissy YouTubes from the Vatican?
Dude, a Chrissy... Literally, me doing a Chrissy YouTubes from the Vatican is the only way that I think I could ever win my mother's heart back for turning my back on the Catholic Church. But I didn't really turn my back on the Catholic Church. Father Bill turned his back on me. Father Bill made me get on my back. Here we go. The story behind the Paris catacombs is the city needed a better place to put its dead. So it went to the tunnels, moving bones from the cemeteries 5 stories underground into Paris's former quarries, the quarries where they used to get like the rocks to build the city. It took the city 12 years to move all the bones from bodies numbering between 6 and 7 million into the catacombs. There is not a chance in hell that those bones were correctly put back in the right places. I would be willing to argue that the mismatched bodies in those catacombs is rampant.
I mean, look at this photo.
That's crazy. If you look at the catacombs house, post this picture on the episode.
Yeah.
Remains of 6 million Parisians from the 18th century. Dude, looking at an 18th century Parisian skull is probably pretty freaking wild. I wonder if they had bigger heads or smaller heads than us back then.
Well, they were tiny little guys, right?
Yeah, but Neanderthals had bigger heads. But then I guess their heads got smaller. Here we go. Here's a fun fact. The catacombs, by the way, this segment's called Chrissy Catacombs. The catacombs were used during World War II. Those in the French resistance were actively used in the underground tunnels as a hideout during the war and planned attacks against the Germans. So this was kind of like, Harriet Tubman's Underground Railroad, but it was the Catacombs Railroad. The underground tombs and tunnels concealed the resistance members from German spies and allowed them to escape without being found. So they kind of were able. I think they kind of did that a little bit in that movie, 1917. Oh, that was about World War I. But there's a scene in 1917 where he goes underground and sees like this family living underneath the tunnels of Paris. Is there a movie about the Paris catacombs? Because we got to watch it.
There has to be, but I mean, I think you can just go down there.
No, you could, but I'm sure during COVID, there's no way you can go down there.
No. I think like people trespass. I remember I watched that stupid Ghost Adventure show and they investigated it.
Yeah.
And they just walked into a party. It looked like a swingers party going on at 3 a.m.
We got to get Brendan Schaub on the podcast specifically to talk about Ghost Adventures.
We need to. I need to know if it's bullshit.
Yeah. So it's pretty crazy, because a lot of cities were built underground. Like there's so much history underground. It's just, you can't dig that far because then I think like permits and stuff, and then it just gets too hot.
I don't know. Elon Musk is really trying to bring us all underground, I think.
By the way, did you see Elon Musk's tweet today? Elon Musk now has turned around and just tweeted out of nowhere that he supports the vaccines and that everyone should get the vaccines. I'm like, what evidence what do they have of him that somebody, the powers that be, were like, hey, either tweet that you love the vaccine or we're going to release this?
It's probably just his baby mama Grimes.
Yeah, right? For real. Here's the thing. That's the thing is like nobody scares us more than the baby mama. So you can threaten this or threaten that. It's kind of like, I don't care. My baby mama, that's the only person that I need to keep happy because if she ain't happy, then I ain't happy. Was that a helicopter?
Yeah.
Could you imagine it just lands in the backyard because you're a fugitive?
There's so many cars.
Well, there's so many car chases and car accidents in LA. There's constant helicopters.
All the time.
You said when you were doing Nate Bargatze's special on Netflix, which, by the way, check that out. It's out now. At Universal Studios City Walk, there was a helicopter that was overhead for like 15 minutes, right?
Well, it was crazy because they could only film it twice. And on his last filming, they had a crazy car chase. So just like 16 helicopters went over. So he had to riff like 20 minutes of helicopter stuff.
You think he was mad at the person in the car chase? Like, dude, you're ruining my special?
He was so mad, but he pulled off the special and it came out great.
Came out great.
So
Go check it out. It's on Netflix now, Nate Bargatze. What did we say for Michael Rappaport? What was our plan to do with him?
we were just going to try to surprise him with a podcast at this stand-up show.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a stand-up show with Michael Rappaport tomorrow night, and we were going to, Homeless Pimp's coming, we're going to try to just put a camera in his face and go Chrissy TMZ and get a quick mini podcast with him. And then the very next week, get a podcast with Dave Portnoy on Zoom. We got chaos. We're everywhere. You can't be stopped. We're Chrissy Gray Zones. Never forget, I'm down the middle, Chrissy. I got a Republican haircut, a Democratic brain, white skin, a black girl's ass. I love Chinese food, but I eat with a fork. Never forget, you cannot pin me down. Thank you so much for the support here. Every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, Chrissy Chaos comes out. Please go to chrisdcomedy.com. Check out my stand-up dates. Of course, patreon.com/ChristyComedy, where all the fun happens, the Christians, the chaos, and email ChrissyChaosPodcast@gmail.com to get involved in the show. We appreciate the support. And check out the clips page. We got Chrissy Clips page, so go subscribe to that. We put out clips almost every day, little segments of the show. And Hey Babe, every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Check that out, the No Pressure Network on YouTube. We're having a great time. I'm having so much fun, and I really can't thank everybody enough for the support. It's amazing, and let's keep going. We're almost out of this freaking quarantine, and it's going to be great. I'm going to go do a quarantitties now, and my family's going to throw me in the pool.